Let's start now in the NFL. We have our panel. Good morning to DraftKings contributors Geoff Ulrich and Pearce Dietrich. First-timer Alan Seslowsky of RotoWire. Hello, everybody. Good to have you here. Ravens-Dolphins will get the Week 10 party started, talking showdown picks and sportsbook plays. Who's steering the ship for you at captain, Geoff?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like you have to go with the Ravens guys here. I mean, they've got a 27-point implied team total. The nice thing about this game is we have like a really small sort of market share here to pick from Baltimore. I'm not so interested in Marquise Brown in this game. I know he's coming in hot. He's got like 24 targets over his last 2 games. But this does feel like a spot where I'm just not sure how much, fight back we're going to get from the Miami Dolphins, regardless of who starts at quarterback. I think Davonte Freeman at 9,900 is a very good value option. It's a player who's now playing basically 60% of the snaps. About 15 touches last week. I just don't see that going down because he's playing well. He's playing clearly the best of any of the Ravens running backs. He's got a weaker rush defense here, in the Miami Dolphins. We're basically bad at everything on defense this year anyways. And again, we've got a 27-point implied team total. If it's not Marquise Brown, all these touchdowns are getting scored on the ground or by the defense. And I think Davonte Freeman definitely has a chance to pay off this salary. Obviously gives you a ton of flexibility too. So I'm going to make Davonte Freeman my captain's pick.
Yeah, he gets the next most rushing volume after Jackson. Should stay busy, as you mentioned. Pearce, what about you, man? 1.5 times the salary, but 1.5 times the points.
Hear me out. Mac Hollins. I disagree that the Ravens are going to be the team to play here. I like the Dolphins side of this. We know that they pass more than any other team in football. The way that Geoff says that this game is going to play out, it seems like they're going to pass even more than they normally pass. So it seems like the value and the upside is going to come from the Dolphins side of the football field. And the Ravens, not that good in the secondary this season. They're really not that good, period. If you look through some of these games, I think they're quite overrated, and the Dolphins are going to be able to hang in there. Hollins increased the snap count last week, and his routes run went up to 41, caught 3 of his 6 targets. Now that Devontae Parker is on the IR, he's towards the top of the league in terms of ADOT with 14-yard depths of reception. And that's a small sample size, but he is running deeper routes. The Ravens have allowed 12 passes of 20 yards or longer. That's the most in the NFL. There's definitely that big play upside. I would love to play Lamar Jackson if you can afford him. But if you take Hollins, you can definitely get plenty of Ravens in your utility spots.
All right. I was today years old when I realized that Mac Hollins is an NFL player. Alan, how about you, dude?
When they said that Davonte Freeman was going to be the captain, I had to check my watch and make sure it wasn't 2015. I can't believe we're seeing guys like this be fantasy relevant again. I'm on the Dolphins side as well. One of my favorite DraftKings strategies is to take the backup running back and put him in the captain slot. I'm likely to lose, but what happens if there's an early injury or they start to give Salvin Ahmed more touches? Look what happened to Chase Edmonds in the Cardinals game last week. First, second, third play goes out. James Conner's not a backup, obviously, but he went nuclear. That's what I'm doing in my DraftKings lineup. I'm putting in Salvin Ahmed.
Wow.
And, just throwing a dart. It's not what's likely to happen, but it's what's the payoff if it does happen. And the likely is you're going to become a millionaire.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Great tease, by the way, too. There is a Millie Maker lineup, and lineups lock in 9 hours and 15 minutes here on DraftKings. Only $20 to enter. Let's go with some value. Hook me up, Pearce. It sounded like your first guy is going to provide you some there.
You can play Mac Hollins, or you can go through the cheap receiver on the other side, Rashad Bateman. We've been attacking the Dolphins secondary all season long. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, not having a very good season because they haven't been healthy. They haven't practiced all season. Howard's got a 55 PFF grade. Byron Jones is a 64 PFF grade. This is definitely a spot that you can attack. Since Bateman's been back, his routes run have increased every single week. He's become a bigger part of the offense. There is a concern, though, with Sammy Watkins coming back that might hurt his volume, but that could also help out. I mean, if you look at this receiving core with Brown and Watkins, Bateman, and Mark Andrews, I mean, Bateman's going to be the last guy to receive any attention at all. And so the volume could be there. He should get plenty of opportunities against a weak defense. And if he gets a touchdown, then you're good to go.
All right, Alan, how about some value, man? Who are you looking at?
I don't mean to repeat myself, but Salvador Ahmed's only $800. Now, when Pearce said Matt Collins, he thought he was going to have the trashiest play on the slate. I'm sorry to one up you there, but no, the player if you're going to want to go a little bit more chalky, look what Jalen Waddle from a target perspective, man. The price is right on there. He's getting double-digit targets, 8-9 targets every single game. He's literally the only game in town other than the tight end Mike Gesicki. So I like figuring out how to put Jalen Waddle in the lineup. He's probably going to get loose for one. I still like him as one of the best rookie receivers, and then certainly he's a top 25 receiver already in the NFL. I'm trying to stick him in every single lineup tonight.
Okay, Ulrich, what about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that like Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki both looking like good like upper tier values just because the target tree is going to be so condensed for Miami. But one guy who's also playing a lot more than people realize, and again, we got Devontae Parker out. I mean, Pearce likes this guy, Matt Collins, who's got like 10 catches in his last 30 games. But what about Durham Smith? I mean, he's playing over 60% of the snaps. He's at least getting targets, Pearce, all season, not just for like one game, too. The one thing that Baltimore Ravens do, they do not defend the tight end position. They basically just pretend like it doesn't exist. This guy's 2,700. I do like some of these Dolphins receivers. I almost think a guy like Gesicki is captain viable too. But, Smith could easily get the touchdown here. And I think this is what you have to do. You have to target the cheaper wide receivers in this game. I do like Pierce's call there on Bateman. I'd much rather play him over Watkins. But, like, if you're looking for a really cheap play, I think Smith is the guy you got to look to today.
All right, let's go over to the sportsbook side of this matchup, guys. Which player prop do you like for tonight? Alan?
Oh, as far as a player prop, yep. I'm going to go with Gesicki over 4.5 receptions. He is, Geoff said before that the target distribution is so condensed. I mean, he is, I think, a lock to smash over 4.5. I would say even closer to 10 receptions or 10 targets tonight. So that's the easy one for me that popped off the board. I'm going to put a few earned shekels on that play tonight.
All right, good stuff. Geoff?
Yeah, I really like that Gesicki prop too. But I have another one I like. Davonte Freeman over 10.5 rush attempts. I mean, I'm really surprised to see this so low. We have a team here who are over touchdown favorites. Again, like, what? They're not giving Tyson Williams the ball. I know Lamar Jackson could come in here and take like 14 carries, but if they get up, they're really just going to try and pound Davonte Freeman in and save Jackson. So this is just ridiculously low to me. This player had 13 carries in his last game. Again, his snap count is going up. He's playing clearly the best. And we only have to get to 11 carries against Miami, and it's plus 100. Yeah, I love taking the over on Davonte Freeman's rush attempts here.
Which player prop you targeting tonight, Pearce?
Alan is fitting right in here, giving us
totally.
The dumpster tier value plays. And I also like Gesicki. I'm going to take the over 54.5 receiving yards for him. Baltimore's allowed the third most points to tight ends in fantasy this season. We know Miami passes more than anyone else. The game script says that they're going to pass a lot. And Gesicki is top 4 in receptions, receiving yards, and targets. So the volume is going to be there. And hey, and if you're worried, like, what if Tua doesn't play or he does play? Jacoby Brissett loves to throw to tight ends. You look at what he did when he was a starter in Indianapolis. He would pepper Jack Doyle and Eric Ebron. Those were the leading receivers on that team. So Gesicki is in a great spot.
Yeah, I think he still had like 33 targets, too, in the past like 3 or 4 games with Brissett. Slated Proof Pick. I need your favorite bet on the DK Sportsbook board for Baltimore, Miami tonight. Jeffrey.
Man, let's get a little bit crazy. Let's go to the player parlays again. Let's just end this segment on a high note. Mike Gesicki and Mark Andrews over 100 yards receiving each, plus 2,500. Defenses aren't good. This is definitely a spot where the tight ends could get off. Those are big odds, man. I like it.
Okay, Pearce, what do you like?
Well, this might sound crazy too, but I like the Dolphins and the points. The Ravens are not that good. They've covered the spread 3 times against the Chargers, and that's a game where the sportsbook thought the Chargers were good. We've seen they're not really that good. They covered against the Broncos. The Broncos aren't really that good. They covered against the Chiefs. Hey, guess what? The Chiefs aren't that good either. Again, if you look at the Indianapolis game, what were the Ravens doing in the first half? Terrible. They didn't come back until the prevent defense came out. Last week, they looked terrible against the Vikings. Didn't come back until the prevent defense came out. If Miami could just play defense for 4 quarters, they cover this spread.
That's a lot, though, asking Miami to play defense for 4 quarters. Alan, here's Slated Proof Pick, your best bet tonight.
By the way, people in my 30-team deep didn't know who Durham Smythe was, so props to you guys for. If I knew Tua was playing tonight, this would be my best bet. The Miami getting 7.5, but it's unclear at this point. But that's still way too many points for the Ravens and their weak defense laying on the road. I'm going to take Miami, and I like the score to be around 24-23. Ravens win this one.
All right, Miami 1-4 ATS in its last 5 Thursday games, guys.